Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're talking about the best decks from over the weekend. Ooh, spoiler alert. Jeez, this is from YCS Sydney, also from YCS Sydney. But this is from Cal Gernfurt, WCQ. That regional, if we go super fast to tournament breakdown, we can quickly see that it is not on this list. There it is. It had 40 people. So that, take this with a grain of salt. But nonetheless, it is still not tier elements, which is what we try to do here. This article is just not. Where's Ren? We know Ren. We know you did this. How do we? Why does it not say? I guess it doesn't say who wrote the article, but it was piloted by Elon Teshev. Um, Hope I said that correctly. I'm sorry if I didn't. 50 card main deck. This is kind of like a locals when it's only 40 people. But nonetheless, like I said, it still saw success to some extent. I would like to know its matchups, obviously, but it's Scareclaw. Who cares about the matchups? Um, so for starters, one copy of Visas Starfrost, three copies of Scareclaw Richard Hart, three copies of Astra, three copies of Balloon, three copies of Arco, one Griffin Rider, three copies of Water Enchantress, three Magna Hut, three Druisworm, three Sunrear, three Fenrir, three Crow. We just really hate tier elements. Oh my gosh, do we despise tier elements? We're running three DD Crows too? Oh my goodness. That's it for the monsters. This is kind of like the big thing for Scareclaws. So when this card is activated, you can add a Scareclaw monster from your deck to your hand, or a Visas Starfrost, which was this card. Um, Monster your opponent controls lose 100 attack for each monster defense position on the field. If there are three or more monsters on defense position, you target one card your opponent controls, destroy it. And so that's kind of what these cards all do. Um, your Scareclaw monster and the extra monster can attack up to the number of defensive position monsters. So it's weird. It's like a very weird niche of like we want our monsters in defense position, but it's not super heavy samurais though because they can't attack in defense position. But it's kind of like that. Um, and I like the inclusion of the Bestial stuff. What I've been noticing about the Bestial stuff is you can kind of just throw them in whatever. I mean, like you look, that's a full Bestial. That's a really full Bestial package. That's 9 cards, and now we don't have to worry about as you know as much if we're running like decks that maybe don't have a big amount of cards. You know, some archetypes like Black Wings, Super Heavy Samurais, they have so many cards it's insane. But some archetypes have like 10 really good cards, and plus the field spell, right, and a couple of spells, right. So 15. Um, those archetypes. That's not 10, by the way. That's 3, 6, 9, 12, 13. So it's like 18, right? But even still, like a lot of times too, I always made this joke with myself of like I'm really good at getting the first 30 cards of a deck. I just don't know what to do with the last 10. Bestial stuff. Bestial stuff. If you can get to 30, Bestial stuff and Upstart Goblin or whatever. One copy of Scareclaw Arrival, one copy of Scareclaw Straddle, two Triple Tactics Talent, fantastic card. Main deck side. Three copies of Rite of Aramesir, one Faithful, one Draco, three Super Polarizations. These are what? These are warriors, beasts. These are beasts. These are beasts. Let's be real. These are beasts. But there's also a lot of dragons. They're earths too. That doesn't help with our super polys. This one's dark though, but this one's an earth. One judgment. Respect. One twin saw. One splash. So kind of more than like 20 cards for Scareclaw. It's like a true Scareclaw adventure bestial deck. Like I mean, it's 50 cards, but I don't see anything wrong with that. I wouldn't even be opposed to running 2 more cards and then being Pot of Desires. You're running 3 of everything. Obviously, you want to do your adventurous stuff first, so you have your one-ups. But once you do your adventurous stuff, then you can activate Pot of Desires and go crazy. You might lose on your trap cards and different things like that, but it's a free +1. Or it's a neck 9. I don't know how you see it. As for the extra deck, Our Super Poly targets are, of course, Garua, Mud Dragon, and this. Interesting. We usually see Dragostopalia in this, but whatever. One copy of Baron de Fleur. Who's the tuner? Who's the tuner? Is it the fusion monster? No, this is a tuner. Oh, okay. All right, Vsauce, I see you. I guess I just didn't know that. One copy of Wallow, pretty standard. Griffin, Unicorn, Phoenix, IP, Dark, because we can run it. And then we're running the Fur Hire monster because we're running Beasts, and this card's actually really good. If you don't know what this card does, you can read now. Just kidding. You can target one Fur Hire monster you control when monster opponent controls, destroy them. Right? You can target itself. That's why this card's so good. And the arrows are okay. Also, it's 25 cents. The arrows are okay. The arrows are fantastic. I just noticed where the arrows are pointing. The arrows are great. Anybody know what Adventurer Fur Hire looks like? 2 copies of Scareclaw Tryhard. This card says must be linked summon all face-up monsters on the field or change to defense position unaffected by the effects of defense position monsters. So it's like a Bagooska-ish. Once per turn, if this card is in the extra monster zone, you can target a level 3 Scareclaw monster, special summon it, and then add one. Right, so that card as well as this card are kind of like the heartbeats of the deck. Right, for this card's link summon, you can only use monsters in the main monster zone. But zero, this card is link summon the extra monster zone. You can add the field spell from your deck to your hand if you control the Vsauce Starfrost. You can special summon this card from your graveyard. So shout out to that. 500 attack is okay, but it's really just it's really just to help you get up the ladder. 3K monster, like I said, that's their vibe. Keep him in defense position, and it's a little weird because how do you really play around that? There's not like a lot of cards that are trying to get monsters in defense position to attack position. It was kind of like Super Heavy Samurais, not in the TCG, but in Duel Links. It had its own little run because it is a little weird when like the monsters refuse to go into attack position. Because so many cards are kind of based off of monsters going into attack position, or like the Mirror Forces, or you can out them by battle. It's just it is unique, is all I'm trying to say, and that's what we're looking for. We're not looking. If you want to see the same tier element deck, go watch somebody else's channel. We're looking for unique here. 3 copies. Please don't go before you leave though. Please click the like and the subscribe button, and then go watch someone else's channel. 3 copies of Nibiru, 3 copies of Lava Golem. We're just going second. That is literally 15 going second cards, and we're already main decking Super Poly, and that's the thing. I've always said this about going second. If you build your deck to go second, you're always going to win the die roll because most people want to go first, right? Now, Interior Elements is a little tricky because they can interact with you during their turn, but Nibiru is a really solid card that a lot of people have forgotten exists. Lava Golem is fantastic against tier elements, as is Dark Ruler no more. Harpy's Feather Duster, Lightning Storm because you gotta watch out for back row decks, and Lightning Storm works against both. As does Evenly Matched. People don't realize that. Like a lot of people see Evenly Matched as like the card to out like the big monsters like Borreload, Salvage Dragon, Apollousa, or like tier elements Kakalos and like Dragostopalia or like Baron de Fleur. Evenly Matched is really good against really good against back row decks because it either burns their judgment or it completely destroys them and puts them way far behind in card advantage. Like Evenly Matched is almost a win condition against back row heavy decks. The next 2 decks are both Sword Soul. Shout out to Sword Soul. But this was from YCS Sydney, which if you remember when we just looked at it, because I looked at it when I was clicking off of it, it was about 700 people were at YCS Sydney. I think Jesse Cotton won. No, it's not worth it. But I think Jesse Cotton won. He usually plays tier elements, though. But this deck was piloted by Luke Arcella. So shout out to Tenny Sword Soul when everybody said they were dead. Getting not 1, but 2 tops at top 32s. Because it's not... top 8 is topping, right? And that's a thing a lot of people can get confused. When they hear it topped, they assume top 8. And some people think top 32 or top 64 is topping. Top 32, top 64 is just getting your invite based on how many people are at the event. top 8 is usually where you start to get like cool deck boxes or play mats, or you actually start to like win stuff. Other than just your invite. I think you do get some cool stuff though for getting top 32, especially at a YCS. But this was piloted by Luke Arciela, like I mentioned before. 40 card main deck, gotta love to see it. This is Tenny Sword Soul with some Bestial cards. 3 Moyi, 3 Longyung, 3 Ecclesia, 2 Taya, 2 Ardhara, 2 Ashina, 3 Ashina, excuse me, 2 Vishuda. We usually see 1. I don't hate 2 Vishuda. 2 Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is a solid card. We're running 2 Effect Veiler, 3 Imperm. I respect it. Ash just isn't very good in this format. Veiler is. But 3 Bistio Magnahuts, 3 Druid's Worms, 1 Sonmir, and 1 Deshrudo. Interesting. Deshrudo is really, I really like Deshrudo in Sword Soul. Because what you can do with Deshrudo, summon Moyi, activate Moyi effect, chain infinite impermanence. Oh no, what am I going to do? Summon Deshrudo. Make a level 7, go from there. There's not a lot of great levels. We'll look at the extra deck in a second, though. You can also use Deshrudo as link material. But I really like Deshrudo. 2 copies of Poly Desires. It's almost a Sword Soul card at this point. 3 Emergence, 3 Droplet, because it's Droplet. 3 Infinite Impermanence, 1 Blackout. Very solid, tight extra, or very solid, tight main deck. That Bestial package of 7, that seems to be the standard package. I think the last deck we saw was running 3 Sornir. But this was a 50 card deck, so that's probably why. This looks like a very solid package. I wouldn't even be, because it's running Power Desires too, I wouldn't even be opposed to running a little bit like I think a DD Crow, or you know, just some other cards too, maybe some like a Triple Tactics Talent type thing, because we are running Power Desires, we are running a 40 card main deck, but it does help us with consistency, only running 40 cards, and Bestial stuff. We disrupt it. All Sword Soul needs is to disrupt the opponent enough. That's all it needs to make it a little bit more even. As we go to the side deck, we are seeing that was the level 7 month. This is the level 8 monster, actually. This is the level 8 one, yeah. So I'm not really quite sure, because this is the only thing Deshrudo can make, right? The Yazi. But you can still do a lot of things with Yazi, though. Like, you could still... Yazi is an extender, because you can go Deshrudo into Yazi, Yazi into Taya, Taya banish Moyi into Chixiao. So I really like Deshrudo. Shout out to that deck. But anyway, for the extra deck, 1 copy of Baron. Or excuse me, 1 copy of the level 10, 1 copy of Baron, 1 copy of the other level 10. I really should know their names at this point, but 1 copy of the Tenny Synchro Monster, 1 copy of the Animaster Paid Risen Dragite, 2 copies of the Grandmaster, 2 copies of Boxia. We already mentioned the Yazi. 1 copy of Wallow. This seems to be beating out Beatrice in a lot of cases. Also, Gauntlet Launcher. You heard it from me, Gauntlet Launcher. 1 Shaman of the Tenny, 1 Dark, because you can run it, because they're running the Bestials, and 2 Monk of the Tenny. Really like the extra deck. Surprise, surprise. 3 Anti-Spell Fragrance, because everyone forgets this card exists until it's flipped face up on them. 1 Volcanic Scattershot, because it is for time. 3 Lightning Storm for back row heavy decks, same with evenly matched. 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talent. Shout out to Magnificent Mavens, because all of these cards are in that. And then 3 copies of Nibiru, the Primal Being, because once again, Nibiru is like Droll and Lockbird. Very good against very specific matchups. And people forget that this card is ran because Tier Elements doesn't really get hurt by it. Sprite doesn't really get hurt by it, right? Even Floowandereeze usually makes the Barrier Statue before Nibiru can get dropped. Right, so it really, like, the best decks of the format don't care about Nibiru at all. Doesn't mean, though, you're going to, when you go, especially at YCS, you're going to just face 9 Tier Element decks in a row, right? That's just not how it works. This is another Sword Soul list. It is a little bit different, though, because we are not running the Tennies. This was piloted by Elton Zhang, I don't know. Top 32 from the YCS. Pretty standard stuff. We are running more Sornir now, but with 3 Moyi, 3 Long Young, 2 Taya, 3 Ecclesia, 3 Magnum, 3 Saunier instead of just a 2. 3 Druistorm. Once again, we're seeing Destrudo get ran. Maybe I'm just late to the party. Am I late to the Destrudo is ran in Sword Soul party? I could be. 3 copies of Effect Veiler. We're main decking the Nibiru, but the big thing here, because we're not running the Tenny package, we can run Fenrir. Right? Because Fenrir kind of just doesn't work with the Tenny package because it doesn't synergize with Tenny because it's an effect monster, and you can't control any monsters when you summon Fenrir. So Fenrir is really, really solid. And I don't have to talk up Fenrir. 1 copy of Instant Fusion, 2 Desires, 3 Droplet, 3 Emergence, 1 Blackout. Instant Fusion. Who do I think Instant Fusion's for? Fluffle Sheep. Sorry. 1 copy of Zeus, 1 copy of Wallow once again. Like I said, Gauntlet Launcher, you heard it here first. This is the actual Instant Fusion target. The Magiki Instant Fusion card is a tuner monster. That's the main reason. Mo Yi, Active Effect Reveal. Aha, I got you. No, you didn't. Instant Fusion, right? 2 copies of the Grandmaster. 1 copy of the Sword Soul Supreme Sovereign Xinjiang. And 1 copy of Sword Soul Sinister Sovereign Xingqiang Longyang. 1 copy of Draco Berserker of the Tenny. 1 copy of Baron. 1 copy of Boxia, 1 copy of Yagazi. We're running the Light Charmer in this one because of Nibiru and Ecclesia and Effect Veiler. Okay, and it does have targets. And we can just link up into Selene because our opponent's running Veiler. We know our opponent's running Veiler, right? Is this a light? It's a dark. And Mohi's of water. Interesting. Very interesting. I don't hate that at all, though. 1 copy of Dark, 1 copy of Selene, because it's still a really fantastic card. And we can go into Access Code Talker. I was talking about this card in the Market Watch. I did regular Market Watch. I know. Shout out to me. I was talking about this card in the Market Watch where it's always ran. Like, this is a Sword Soul deck. What is Access Code Talker doing in there? It's a really good card. Like, if you can kind of make Access Code Talker, you should be running Access Code Talker. 3 copies of Zombie World. We're just straight up running Zombie World. I like it. The old-fashioned way of running Zombie World as a sidecar deck. You don't run Banshee. You don't run the Crystal Beast trap card, whose name I'm forgetting. Rainbow Road or something like that. That's not his name. But you just run 3 Zombie Worlds. 3 Lightning Storm, 3 Cosmics, because we hate back row. 3 Anti-Spell, because it's actually not that bad in this deck. Because once we play Emergence, we're chilling. And then 3 Dark Ruler No More. But let me know what you guys think. These are some of the best non-tier element, non-sprite, non-flow entries deck profiles from YCS Sydney. And there was another event over the weekend that had 40 people at it, and that person got a top 8, I think is what that deck list was. I don't remember. But let me know what you think in those comments down below. Make sure you guys click that like button, show your support for the channel, subscribe for more content. But most importantly of all, have a good day.